La 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 la.
Oh, polar beards too. Good job. Good job. Polar beards, because you were the first person here, which was amazing, so I literally clicked live. Drop me an email at contact@BoredGamer. I will. I might have something little tiny something. I can occasionally award people randomly for a random thing. You were first. Good job. Drop me an email and I'll make sure it's you. And I think I've got some CitizenCon 2948 goodies packs from last year still. That's all. Something little, but, you know, it's still a thing. Right, I'm gonna go grab my cup of tea from downstairs. Chow, you're in charge. They can't see you, mate, but you know, good chat. The turtle can be in charge. Yeah. Oh no, that's all my receipts. I need that for my accountant. Okay, you go there, turtle. Wait. Oh, 1 second. I just need to make myself look presentable. Hello, I'm coming. I'm here. Sorry, there was a Let's turn on this. I've got a hat on. I don't want to overly worry people. This isn't going to be a regular occurrence. The thing about a hat is it makes me look like less like a potato, but more like I don't think I can see CUNT on my channel without getting monetized. But it makes my head. I've got a really long head, you see. But it sort of like suits my head better to hide my face, head, top of the head, the weird potato. Let's turn the music down slightly. I do love your music, Pedro. Yeah, let's do that. That's probably a bit better, right? So this is the concierge chat. It might be a bit... I've got some better lighting coming. I've bought a load of new lighting for Black Friday. I bought it today, not for Black Friday, but on Black Friday. So I can have my face better lit and look beautiful. I've got a really expensive Brio camera, 4K, that I just don't utilise properly because I haven't set the lighting up properly, and I've got lights coming down from everywhere, and I'll probably get some better LED bulbs and stuff like that. But this is the concierge cap, okay? Now, this is like $36, and it's not amazing. It's not awful. I had a couple of people complain that it was awful, but it's not awful. It's just not great. If it's gated by $1,000 worth of purchases, I think I was expecting something a bit more, you know, slightly higher quality. It's mid-range as a hat. So I might send it back. I'll probably keep it, actually, as a collector's item. Why the fuck not? But I don't think this is particularly worth it. There's some other things that I didn't think were worth it, like the Carrick. $90 for a t-shirt or a shirt. I'm pretty thrifty, though, and I know that merchandise and stuff is a sort of not necessarily something that you should necessarily be super affordable. There are some things that are collector's items, is what I'm trying to say, or silly as merch, and you buy it to support the product or whatever. But you know what I mean? It's just, I'm thrifty. You have to deal with it. Hope everyone is doing okay. That's what I mean to say. That's important. Let me just see. Filtering. Oh. Let's see if I can. Because my my chat thing keeps on breaking. No, I don't want analytics. Get out of here. I haven't even tweeted that I'm live. I'm the worst. Sort of like have to deal with me. Let's do that. It'll be fine. Let's plow through messages already. That seems reasonable. I'll have a quick look at the... Well, I say quick look. I want to have a look at the anniversary sale today. Because if you are a concierge or a Chairman's Club member, if you're able to buy that hat and you do have access to purchase the Idris and the Javelin, they are limited hulls and they sold out almost immediately when they went live earlier. But they're going to go on sale again at 8 PM and 2 AM today again, I believe, UTC. Yeah, so the reason I was slightly later coming on is I started the stream, and then as I walked downstairs, I heard on the radio there'd been an incident in London, and I was like, oh, so we're just checking frantically to make sure people I know that are in London were fine, and I don't know yet, but I'm assuming they are. Like, I hope it's all good. A load of people are down from like America and Europe for CitizenCon, so they've gone all around to do a bit of exploration around the UK. So I always worry about that sort of stuff. You know, I get anxious about everything. Overly excited polar bear. Polar beards, that's your name. Polar beards too. So yes. Contact at BoredGamer.co.uk will get through to me, mate. So I walked off before giving you all the information. Apologies. I'm the worst. Oh, you look handsome. Thank you very much. I know you're lying, but, you know, I like this sort of form of lying. I watched your new video, and now I get to watch you again. BoredGamer for company. I am the best company, Andrew Hickenbottom. Hickenbottom, I love your name. This is the best name. PIG goes inactive on the 20th usually. Yes, so expect them to go on Christmas holidays on the 20th until early January. Would be my expectation. They do run a skeleton crew though, so they're of people that make sure that the patch is working and that there's no huge problems with the servers. They have previously deployed patches over Christmas and New Year's, so I will do slightly less content potentially over New Year's because I will want to. It might be the last year that I have the chance to chill the fuck out over that period of time because I suspect that Star Citizen will be a lot more fleshed out and we'll probably have things like Squadron 42 to talk about a lot, as well as Star Citizen content. Because just remember, when Squadron 42 is close to completion, and we're able to play it and things like that, that's twice the amount of content, well, a lot more content I can do on my channel. We all know Star Citizen is only for kids, but have you done anything to prep for the FTC's overzealous interpretation and enforcement of COPA that will begin on January 1st? So, I looked at my channel. My channel's fine. My main channel. My secondary channel should be fine. It's not intended, the audience isn't for kids, but it's got free-to-play games like Apex Legends on, which if you were aggressively interpreting, well, a kid might watch that, well, I could counter with, I've actually got the analytics for who watches me. It's only on my second channel, 24 to 35-year-old men. However, I might private or unlist or delete, I save and then delete some videos on my second channel, just so that the collapsing of a second channel, if they went, this isn't appropriate. It's not even monetized, my second channel, so it should be fully COPA compliant. It is COPA compliant, but you know, my worry isn't COPA, because effectively all that COPA will do will be I suppose they could restrict your use of your YouTube channel. They could say no more YouTube for you, bad boy. But I expect that all they would do is take a percentage of the earnings or the full earnings of that video in question. Probably won't go over smaller content creators, but they might go over after some. So you just have to make sure, if your content could be for kids, potentially, and you look at it, well, it could be, then set it for kids. And make slightly different content would be my suggestion. It will change the way that some content creators make content, yes. Which is bad. But I don't know why they just didn't have it that children don't see ads. Go, children on our platform don't see ads. Why put it into the content creators' hands? It just seems weird. But that's my comment on it. On my main channel, 100% fine. Star Citizen's not intended for children. My videos aren't intended for children. It's I would expect that. I can't. Yeah. I'm pretty chill about COPA. I've done all I can to prepare for it, and I will be malleable and dynamic as I can be. If something goes wrong, something happens, YouTube collapses, I'll have to stream more, I'll use a BitChute or something like that. Yeah? We're all good. Be dynamic, do what you can. And if you're like, oh, my business is ruined because of it, well, you weren't trying your business hard enough. I know that sounds really harsh, but you got to be dynamic. Stuff can happen. Bad things can happen. You got to try and react with the times. Yeah? I mean, rather try than not try anyway. The FTC fined YouTube for illegally retaining info on children. Yes, that's what they did. I'm interested in applying the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo skin to my Reclaimer LTI, but on going to melt and repurchase it, says it's only worth $350. The ship is now $480. What the fuck? Don't melt your ship. Do not melt your ship. You will be able to change it over for free, apparently. So you'll be able to get that skin and that the skin, the Caterpillar trophy, and the schematic. I think everyone gets the Caterpillar trophy. But the schematic and the skin that you're talking about without melting your ship. That is what they suggested, so I would expect that. So, yeah, the COPA and the FTC and YouTube, they might find another way to put less of an onus on creators. The thing I'm worried about is machine learning getting stuff wrong. So machine learning going, this video violates COPA. I suppose it wouldn't, if the FTC would probably have to manually review it. We'll have to wait and see to see how the wind blows, but I'm not as worried about it as a lot of people are. I'm pretty chill. There's a lot of the doomsday sort of like worst case scenarios, which potentially could happen for some people, and the FTC might target some egregious abusers of the system. So. Yeah, so the COPA fine is a maximum of 42,000. And that's based on the video's revenue, as far as I was aware. So the stitching in my hat wasn't awful, it just wasn't great. Thank you very much, Polar Beards. Much appreciated. The Carrick has 456 SCU and swappable cargo pods, which will be swappable with other ships in its class. So there are going to be some modularity with the cargo pods, but it's 456 SCU. Confirmed by me watching the ship panel at CitizenCon and asking questions. And other people also agree. Yeah, thanks. The website does say 1,000 SCU, but it is woefully behind the times, antiquated, out of date. Out of date, that's the word I was looking for. Oh, First Light. What a good soundtrack. What else have we got here? What's a good SSD? It depends whether you've got an M2 slot. If you've got an M2 slot, then you want to get a good M2 SSD. I've got an old Samsung 951. There's probably quite a lot on the Amazon Black Friday sale. Have a look. M.2 SSD. Western Digital Black drives and the Samsung 970 drives are pretty slick. I can recommend both of those. Probably get slightly more space than you think you need from M2 drive because they are so good and so fast. And if you've not used a solid state drive before, you'll be like, and if you have used a solid state drive but you haven't used a good M2 drive before, you'll be like, no, they're pretty good. They're pretty fucking good. Why not Idris on display like last year? I haven't actually seen the expo hall for today's, but obviously they were going just doing flyable ships this time, which is a little annoying because, you know, I didn't want flyable ships. I wanted flyable ships and cool ships. So let's bring this up on the screen. So we got Aegis Dynamics today. So you can upgrade a ship to a Sabre, and the ship you upgrade gets 10 years insurance on it. Bam, if you want to do something like that. I love the Sabre. It's probably my favourite fighter in the game. But there are some cool ships available today. So the Avenger Titan, probably one day going to be the most common ship in the game, I would expect. It is a little bit more expensive than a starter ship, and it gives you a huge amount of more things to do. It's got more cargo, it's got better guns, it's just a better ship. It's a better ship than a starter ship. Pretty much, in every way. It just, pa! What else we got? We got the EMP Warlock. That's the sound of it makes. The incredibly expensive Eclipse. Oh my god, I didn't realize that was expensive. The Aegis, Gladius Light Fighter, which is cool. Hammerhead. A lot of people love the Hammerhead. I think it's going to be cool once we have more game systems in place. Reclaimer's only 400 Dara, which surprises me because it's I expected it to be a lot more expensive than that, but I suppose it's one of the old ships they got in the game. And then we got the Retaliator, which has got the bomber variant. Surprised they're not selling the variant sections of it. Maybe they are, haven't got to the end yet. We've got the Sabres, we've got the Vanguards, the Warden. The Hoplite is just the cheapest, and it has a load of people that can run around in the back and deploy out. Cool little dropship. So we've got some concepts as well. We've got the Nautilus, which is the mine layer, but also has a big gun on the front. Kaboom! I suppose it's a explosive mines and turret mines, which are cool. We've got the Redeemer. What? What? I didn't think this was supposed to be on sale until... I didn't think they were supposed to be selling that until it's reconcept. It is yet to be reconcepted, or at least let to be unveiled in its reconcept. My voice is largely better, but my throat is still reasonably rough, so if I have trouble speaking, it's because I'm special. So we also got the Retaliator base, which is the stripped-down version of the Retaliator that you can put the different modules in. And then we've got the Vulcan, which is the drone repair, rearm, and refuel ship. Now, if you are a Germans Club person, you have access to buy these in waves, the Javelin and the Idris P. I think that's... Yeah, it's just the Idris P. So, as I said earlier, 8 PM UTC and 2 AM UTC is when you're going to be able to purchase these again. They sold out almost instantly, as far as I'm aware. And we've got some Aegis gear as well. So, it's a day. It's got some ships, the big ships available if you want to buy them, want to try and buy them. It's a lot of pressing F5 at the right times and being a Chairman's Club member already. Can buy them for credit as well. It's not just Warbond, there are credit ones. So expensive now, though. I mean, these are ridiculous purchases that no normal human should make. If you want to support the project, I'm not your dad. So for people wondering, the most recent CitizenCon gameplay demo is what is showing behind me. When are repair mechanics coming in game? I want a mission to do emergency repair on direct stations in freefall for it crashes planet side. They are working on repairing missions and repairing mechanics for ships. They're also working on physicalized components. I believe physicalized components should be done at some point next year, and then you should have something version 1 repair gameplay coming with that. Would be my expectation. I would expect to see some silly missions like repair it before it gets burnt out by a sun, or before it goes into orbit or something, out of orbit. Thank you very much, Raging Sage, for the sub. Very much appreciated. Robert Johnston, thank you very much for chucking money at me that I didn't notice. Apologies for that. I got too much into the sound of my own voice. Where is Sandy? Not at CitizenCon, nothing on Facebook, Twitter, for months. Should be road. I think she's okay. I didn't ask anyone about Sandy. I can ask. Chris seemed okay. Chatted to him for a while. Brian Chambers, Aaron, Cameron. Talked to a load of people there. Sean Tracy, Luke Presley. A load of the project leads and stuff for different areas of the game. Some of the Squadron 42 guys. I didn't even think to ask about Sandy. I was expecting to see her constantly, and then I didn't see her. So she's probably either ill, working, or busy in LA. That would be my expectation. I can sort of find out. Ben Lesnick wasn't there either. I know a lot of people wanted to see Ben. But I believe he is relatively homebound. He has a problem with his eyes, I think, still. But yeah. So I will try and find out. I'm not avoiding a question. Sorry, but thank you for sending me even more money. Appreciate it. I had not seen it. I hadn't seen anything. Any info on the Drake Corsair? There was no information on the Drake Corsair at all. I asked for updates on some ships. I got some updates, but there was nothing on the Drake Corsair. So Port Al-Assad did not get destroyed. What is the deal with the Great Injustice? So,
Good to see you at CitizenCon. Sorry, I didn't get to buy you a drink. Here, take this and buy it.
Macca75, thank you very much. Good to see you as well, buddy. That's enough for like 2 drinks. Thank you. You legend. Oh, you star. Like, No, it was so nice meeting people at CitizenCon. I've got a little bit of celebrity, which involved people buying me drinks and shaking my hand and saying how much they liked me, which is the perfect level. Thank you so much. I do appreciate it. It was really amazing meeting so many people and getting my little turtle and all the other swag and loot. My room is a absolute tip currently. It is just, there's just stuff everywhere. It looks awful. It looks like a building site. So at some point, when I've recovered, probably this weekend, I'll have to tidy everything. I bought loads of random stuff in the Black Friday sales. I looked through some of my footage on my GoPro. Some of it's gone to the wrong aspect ratio, but I'll probably still use it in a video or chuck it somewhere so people can see it. It wasn't the best footage or anything. I was going, oh, actually I can get a drone for my GoPro and get it in 16:9 and 1440p. But then someone said you need a license for drones now in the UK. So I was like, oh, well, bollocks. But the Great Injustice message, we don't know what it's for. So it could be connected to a mission that's going to be in 3.8. It could be connected to the pyro system. It could be connected to the elections and the political stuff that's going on in game. There's a lot of stuff. But it didn't seem too connected to CitizenCon. Did you scrounge any Squadron 42 info out of CIG while you're there? A couple of chippy things. And I think it was 99% ship stuff. So some ship stuff for Squadron 42. I need to double check through my notes, make sure everything's okay and reasonable, and nothing's got, like, you know, this is told you in confidence, don't tell anyone this, or this is NDA'd or something. Every year is quite a big year for Star Citizen, and hopefully it gets bigger and bigger as the years go on. It's a very slow burn as a game. I mean, let's be realistic about that. We've been disappointed a lot before by its delays and its slow development, but I do love the fact it's coming together, and I do like that they can show stuff, and it's like, oh. Is $500 the best price we're going to see for the Carrick? I mean, it was $350, I think, was the best price we've ever seen for it, isn't it? Is that correct? So, David, the best price is to get it in game, okay? $500, I don't think it's going to go down anymore. My suggestion to you, such as it is, okay, because it might be wrong, it's a little, it was, if you were trying to buy a Carrick, but you didn't really mind when you got it, is that I'd buy a Banning Merchantman for $350, hope that the Banning Merchantman goes up in value in like a year, and then transfer over to the Carrick. But that's a risk. So, you better buy it in game. It's up to you. I don't really like advising people to buy ships or not buy ships beyond like an Avenger Titan, because I'm thrifty. Oh yeah, the dynamic economy that Tony Zovic showed off, and I had a quick word with a couple of the guys there as well about it. They're really excited and happy with the dynamic economy and the way it's the simulation and everything in the back end is starting to work. And so they've got that in place as well, so that if server meshing didn't work in the way they wanted, they could still have all of the back end working in the way they wanted. So it would still have the simulated economy for everyone, and everyone affect it. So it's all been built with that in mind, which is awesome. And yeah, I'm excited for that, and it's good that they've been getting this stuff in place. You're right, King Kong, mate. Hope you're doing well. Yes, 3.8. We're doing some boxing matches. I have to get involved with some content creators like yourselves as well, and mess around and play some more. I was planning to do that with 3.7, but then obviously got CitizenCon and loads of stuff happened. So I was drinking tea. What else have we got here? I might, so like Huntress and some of my other mods and people I know, they do like radio stuff. Obviously you've got the base radio as well. I think they plan to do some stuff for in-game, so you could just listen to their show regularly. Maybe that's something I'll consider doing throughout the days as well, while I'm working, maybe. I have a Carrick, and I'm looking to get one more ship. The Carrick is a very good all-rounder. I like all aspects of the game. Let me know your thoughts. It depends on what sort of size ship you want, Sam. Oh, thank you very much. I will happily rub that money on my face. Oh, Robert Johnston, thank you very much. Okay, off to bed now. 5 a.m. here. Keep the noise down. No worries at all, mate. You take care. Thank you so much for you chucking money at me, and I appreciate it. Legend. Thank you, thank you. Oh, people sending me money! Thank you. Don't mean to act like I'm annoyed about it. Thank you very much. Cosmic D. Oh, what a lovely name. I'm going for your ongoing persistent reporting and summarizing of this game. Thank you very much. I love doing it. I love dogging to the community, being part of the community, playing the game, messing around. I mean, CitizenCon was just amazing. It was just me just being a social butterfly, getting drunk. Perfect. Have a cup of tea on me, mate. Good man. Thank you very much, Dalamars. Oh, I love your face as well. You're all good people. Thank you. How likely do you think it will be that we might see the Carrick before February 2020? I think we'll see it in February 2020. I think they're trying to be as accurate as they can with timeframes now, and slowly getting more and more accurate with things, or at least more realistic with things. I mean, they get stuff wrong still. Why do some people not believe the Valkyrie flown at CitizenCon was flown by AI? I don't know. Apparently it was. I mean, people can believe what they want to believe, I suppose. Apparently it was AI flying that route. Would an EMP near the automated prison turn off the prison? I don't believe so. It might disable some of the turrets briefly. So in the first iteration of that, all the prison's components and everything aren't going to be fully physicalized. So it's sort of like going to be partly faked as a facility. But you might be able to turn off some turrets, I suppose, by EMPing them. Where's a video of all the questions everyone wanted to ask at CitizenCon? Have you made it? I have not made the video yet of me going through all the questions. I will get that done over the weekend, potentially tomorrow. I'll start writing the script for it today, because I've got to go. I've got 81 or so pages of A5 with notes on. Some of that is questions that were answered on that list. Not every question was answered. So should I mention the questions that weren't answered? I'll see how it turns out. But there's quite a bit that was answered, so. I'm considering upgrading my Vanguard Sentinel to a Merchantman for $90. Do you think that will significantly increase in price down the line? Yes, I do. I think the Merchantman will significantly increase in price down the line. I think in-game, it'll be a small version of the Kraken Privateer, which is probably going to be about $1,500. But the Merchantman, I would expect it to be significantly bigger. Might only go up to like $600 total, but it's still a big price increase from $350 that it is now. Orion when? Don't know. The Orion has gone up in price, I think, though. I know they've been working on it. It might be a ship for Squadron 42, because, they want to show, like, big ships in the background and things like that, I suspect. And there's mining facilities and stuff in the Squadron. Caterpillar's still king. So it's interesting you say that, because I've got a Caterpillar to Carrick upgrade, or a Caterpillar to Banning Merchantman upgrade, or something like that, which I might apply. It's going to be based on what modules are available for the Carrick, the Caterpillar. What's going to be based on what modules are available for the Caterpillar in the future. So if there's some great modules and I go, I'll definitely use this ship, bam, I'll keep the Caterpillar. If not, I'm going to convert it into a different ship. What do you think will be the best part about Microtech? The bringing together of all the tech, though. I mean, they showed the demo, like we can see now. The dynamic weather is great. The new planet V4 planet tech's great. The city itself looks awesome. It might be my favourite planet to live on, although I do like Kirsten because it has multiple biomes. But I do like the internals of the city at Microtech more. What can you tell us from the ship panel about the Kraken Privateer? So the Kraken Privateer, it replaces its main cargo bay. So it's got like 700 cargo remaining. So its main cargo bay becomes 8 modular shops, which you can fit out as however you want. So it can be a Kasaba outlet clothing store, or a weapon store, or whatever. And then you get NPCs to run those shops. There's then 2 other shops which take over the Dragonfly base. and they are private shops which are behind closed doors, which you didn't invite to get in. The shops will have to sort of like obey the laws of the area, so you can't sell, well, you can sell stuff that's illegal, I suppose, but you might get fined if you're, or the stuff confiscated if you're found with that. And the idea is that it's supposed to be a mobile space station, more so than the Kraken was. Don't know its price yet. There's 10 more habs in there as well, because the idea is that you're renting NPCs, and the NPCs run the shops there. And that's going to be the same sort of way that the Banu Macho-Man works as well. You have NPCs that work in the shops that you hire. As someone who wants to trade, should I buy a Hull or Caterpillar? The Caterpillar's obviously already in game. Caterpillar's a solid choice. Hull C is a solid choice. Hull C will be more of a hauler. Caterpillar will have more modularity. Will store all boxes be accessible by AI? I don't know. Probably in some way. I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that. But I would expect that AI will be able to interact with the world in a very similar way to players eventually. Yeah, so I suppose they have to be able to interact with the store all boxes if you're smuggling a good in there. So yeah, probably in almost every way you can think of. Do you know how many planets there will be in the new star system? I believe it's 6. Paro has 6 planets, right? And Ruin Station, which is the pirate station there, it's a lawless zone, effectively. The only laws that will be imparted there will be from Ruin Station and the outlaws that live there. I'm unable to talk about any Evocati leaks, because I'm a part of the Evocati, unfortunately. All I can say is that 3.8 was out to Evocati. That's the only thing I can say. How confident you are that the Ares will be a fighter? Moderately confident, I suppose. So Ares is the god of war. It's without the I. It's Ares. Rather than Ares, the star sign. It's Ares, the god of war. I'm reasonably confident. So someone came up to me at CitizenCon and said, "Have you heard anything about this new Crusader starfighter?" Like, no. And I talked to a dev about it, and they went, "Who's this?" I chatted to them for a little bit, and then we saw the picture leak, which was the picture of the board in Austin, Texas, with Crusader, Ares, 1212. So we're assuming, or at least I'm assuming, that the Ares will go on sale on the 12th of December, as will, assumedly, the Argo Mole. Makes sense, right? Would it violate your NDA if you gave us a general feeling of quantum travel speed changes? I can't talk about that, unfortunately. It would violate my NDA. I will take my NDA seriously. Anything that's discussed separate to that's fine, but I will take my NDA seriously. I wonder, when will Star Citizen be able to max all 8 cores on the 9900K? I think the idea is it doesn't want to max all your cores. It wants to, you know, and it shouldn't. Your bottleneck should really be your GPU rather than your CPU. But it making use of multiple cores is great, and scaling up. Have you any unofficial news about the Idris, the Javelin, and the capital ships? I know they've been working on them for a while. I know that some of them might be pretty much complete. Got a few little tidbits in my notes, but they're keeping Squadron 42 specific stuff very close to their chest. Would you recommend the Caterpillar or C2 Hercules? Depends what you want to do. If you want to transport just cargo and you want some modularity of flying around in space, the Caterpillar. If you're going to be landing on planets all the time, I think the Hercules might be slightly better. But if you want to transport ground vehicles, the C2 Hercules is certainly better. I didn't hear it during the Planet Tech demo or panel, but I heard that it only took them 2 months to redo all previous planets with the new tech. Is that accurate? That is what I heard as well. It was 2 months or something like that. I believe it was them talking about the new Planet Tech. But so all they had to do was just update the generation seed and all that sort of stuff that's redone, and then make sure that everything was placed correctly. No, that would violate NDA. But they are updating 3.8 with all the new Planet Tech. Do you have anything about the Bounty Merchantman's release date? No. I would expect them to start working on it sort of like middle of next year. In earnest. $1,000. What do you pledge in Star Citizen with that? I would, if I had $1,000, I can only have one ship. I would probably get either a Carrick, because I think it's super multi-use. But if I had to spend the $4,000, I'd get an Endeavour Master set. Sky Mage, hey, do you remember when we both left CitizenCon last? Are you talking about CitizenCon 2015? I was there until very late. I was one of the last people to shake hands with Chris and chat to him at the end. Yeah. Were you there then, Sky Mage? Shit. It's old times. Yes, so I was terribly sort of like a terrible throat and was really shattered after CitizenCon. It takes it out of you. It takes it out of you. I want you to be my dad. Please adopt me. Threat Wizard? No. You are an independent being. You don't need a dad. I do have a javelin, but it's not in game yet. Bear with me. So some people think the Ares might be a Titan suit. Lots of people have said that to me. I think it's a weird thing to think, but I mean, I'd love it to be a Titan suit, but I think it's more likely to be a escort fighter, long-range escort fighter. Will we see Klingons in Star Citizen? I don't think so, Garen. But Britton Watkins was at CitizenCon talking about the languages he had helped make. Penny, for your thoughts, what do you think about the Mercury and Sentinel paired for data gameplay? I mean, they'd make a good team, probably, for E-War and data interception, potentially. What else we got? How much confidence do you have in the upcoming soon Redeemer concept? Yeah, I mean, I think it will look great. I just don't know what's happening. You do a video on the history of CitizenCon? Maybe. I'll do a 2019 video, a sort of roundup, I think. Any idea when the Vulture will be flyable? Isn't it for 4.0? Is that when they've got the Vulture currently? Is it 4.1? Let's have a look. Cheaps. 3.9 is where the Vulture's coming. So Q1 2020. For some reason I thought it was later than it was. It was really nice to meet Captain Richard. He's a good chap. Didn't talk to him for that long, to be honest. Yes, I'm doing fine, thank you very much, Heavy Bob, mate. Hope you're doing well as well. I know you've been busy as well. How many more times do you think the Mercury will go on sale? I think it will go on permanent sale at some point. Or don't waste your time on speculating about the ARG audio thing. CIG can't be uncounted. Can't be counted on for doing something creative with an ARG. We'll have to wait and see. It might just be a lore thing. It might have been something they wanted to do at CitizenCon but didn't. It's fine to speculate on it as long as people say it's speculation. I like people talking about that sort of stuff. Is it a good idea to upgrade my Aquila to a Carrick? I think so. Shame you didn't do it earlier, though, I suppose. Because obviously the Carrick's worth a lot more now. What do you think of the A2 Herc versus the M2 Herc? It depends on what you want to do. As a ground bomber, the A2 Herc's amazing. M2 Herc's cool for dropping off a tank and having it's like a dedicated gunship that helps it. How is baby made? The scissor. When man or woman on woman or man love each other very much, Baba is sometimes adopted. Will I be able to grind mining in 3.8 and store the ore somewhere? No. So you'll have to sell it from your ship still. At the moment, anyway. Unless they add something into 3.8 that I'm, as of yet, unaware of. Why is the expo so light this year? No ship shape, no updates. These manufacturers are and there's an entire wing at the expo filled with nothing but Avengers. Why? It seems like such a waste. I was hoping for something more, sort of like long-term backer-facing, so showing us the ships in whatever condition they're in, as long as they've got like grey boxes. So I would love to have seen the Idris again. I would have loved to have seen the Hull C and the Carrick and that sort of stuff, even if they're not flyable, just on the show floor to sort of like explore and have a look around. It is very much sort of like you just go there and rent some ships, cool. It's for new players more than current players or older players, which is a shame. Totally agree with you. The sales are still going on though. Maybe they've got something else planned for the end of the year. Maybe it's because they were too busy doing stuff for Squadron 42. That's what some of my notes and talking to people suggests as well. The merchant one was $250, right? Originally, I think yes, but now it's $350. Bored, thanks for the great YouTube videos. Question: if my 3 lifetime insurance are eventually upgraded to Caterpillar Corsair, should I keep my freelancer miss or upgrade it to a Warden? I'd probably keep your miss for now. I watched the last Number video about aliens on the show floor. Nah, I mean, it's just ships, isn't it? If they'd had some of the new stuff, I'd be a lot more excited. Loved CitizenCon. Loved the demo they showed. Shows genuine sort of like movement in direction that I'm like, oh, this is going to be fucking cool. When can we drink the booze? I think they wanted to be able to drink the booze and have the bartenders in 3.8, but I'm not sure what's happening with the bartender AI now. Is that going to be in characters? No, it's going to be an AI. NPC improvement civilians is for 3.9. So maybe potentially expected for 3.9. How much money do you think you invested in the game so far? I'm down $600 so far. $3,000 is probably how much I've invested into it in actually buying things for the game. That's excluding prizes for giveaways. That's for myself. And then obviously hundreds or thousands of hours of making content. With the new hand-to-hand combat, would you do a Fight Club League? Yes, why not? We'll organise something. As soon as I've been able to test it out in Evo or PT or whatever, I'll work something out. As soon as I'm able to share what I've worked out with the wider world, we'll do some silly stuff like that. It's easy to organise. Bam. We'll be able to serve in the military eventually. Obviously, Squadron 42 is about serving the military, but that happens before the Persistent Universe. Maybe, but I expect there will be some military-centric missions, and being able to help the advocacy and the military and all that sort of stuff will be mission and rep and faction-based stuff to do with them. What do you think's the best all-round ship for $150? Constellation Taurus, probably. Are you aware of any ships right now that are flyable that can hide cargo from interdictions and stands? No, nothing that's not bugged. I mean, so for example, you can put cargo in weird places in the 890 jump or places that it's not supposed to, out of its cargo grid. You put cargo out of a cargo grid, it's not going to get detected. What else have we got? Far as lawless, can we challenge other people to a duel? Yeah, but they can just shoot you in the face. this is awesome. So we can see behind me, that's a jump point that they're traversing, and you've got to sort of like keep with the wake. Otherwise you take damage, basically, or be shot out of space in some way you might not necessarily want to be. But I really like the idea of it. People didn't like the rear of the Carrick though. I think it's alright. We'll wait until it's finished. They might add a load more effects and stuff to it. Titan or Stalker? Titan. It's cheaper. Cheaper and got cargo bay. Much more useful. Board wanted to thank you for reducing all the Star Citizen news down into such a condensed and informative package. Sorry. It's been keeping me informed of how things are progressing. Very much. Very much. Shevo. I have no idea how to say your name. I do apologise. Is there any law or theory crafting regarding how the proposed Shion cargo ship will differ from the human offerings? No. There's nothing in my notes for that. I looked in quite detail. See, is there much on it? No, there's not. They briefly talked about a Shion cargo ship, and it will be Shiani. I'd expect it to be really manoeuvrable on the ground and in space and all that sort of stuff. Very, very useful for landing on planets and getting into like asteroid fields and things like that. Ares could be a cutlass-sized patrol craft. Seems more in line with the other ships than a smaller fighter. Yes, that is true. The only reason I think it's a small fighter would be, well, maybe not a small fighter. I think Star Citizen Leaks said it was a small fighter. That's why I said small fighter. But I think an escort long-range fighter to support other Crusader ships. But it could be anything. I mean, it's just Starfighter was a name that was mentioned to me about Crusader at CitizenCon, and I sort of like put 2 and 2 together and hopefully made 4. But it might be I've made 1. I love you, Jay Lee. You're my favourite man to hug. Well, Tyler watches jealous of our love. I'm too tired to feel anything about 3.8 at the moment. I just hope it. I mean, Evocati phases are Evocati phases. I mean, what I mean by that is that they drip feed you content. They get you to test bits. It's typically terribly buggy, and then you get in the PTU. Even the PTU doesn't have all the content in it a lot of the time, and they update it as they go because they want to test stuff. They want to make sure they've got all the bugs locked down and stuff. So it's an Evocati phase. How do you think CIG could improve turret gameplay? So I like the idea of the turrets having a good range of movement and being stabilized to an extent, but give them a huge range of movement, like get them extended on the gimbals like they've got on the Hammerhead for the most part. That's the way to make turret gameplay better, in my opinion. They need a good range of motion, and where they haven't got a huge range of motion, then I'd like them to have larger weapons or scatterguns and things like that. So give them some potentially turret-only weapons and things like that. Why did they do the main portion of the keynote with the controller, not keyboard and mouse? They were using both. They were using the controller for camera. You notice they were using keyboard and mouse as well. Any new word about modularity from CitizenCon? I asked some people about it. They said we are working on modularity for certain things. I'm expecting modularity for next year. I'll try and put it down in my questions. It will be my questions thing. Has there been any word or visually updating older ships like the Hornet? So you'll get ships constantly updated when it comes to like materials updates, lighting updates, materials updates, things like that. So ships will look a bit better in the future. We shouldn't get huge changes to many or if any of the ships anymore. They might do some light modelling work on certain things that they need to, but unlikely to get full reworks or anything. Is server-side object container streaming, full persistence, server meshing finally going to bring us to beta? No. Well, it depends on your definition of beta. If beta's feature complete, no. not by a long shot. But server-side object container streaming, full persistence, and server meshing might move us on to a persistent game with progression, permanent progression. Some people would probably call that a beta. Not sure if this question was asked already, but do you think they will give us Orion owners the mole and prospector, or not give us the mole at all? I would hope that Orion, people that got the Orion would get a mole as the. I would hope they get the mole as the ownership for it. Blue S1X, hey board, it was a blast seeing you in person. Thanks again for helping us with the interview at the end. Hope your bud is okay. Thanks. My butt is okay. Appreciate it. What an interesting thing to say. Oh, wow. If you melt the Banner Macho-Man in, say, a year's time and the price goes up, will you get what you paid for it? You get, when you melt a ship, you get what you've paid for it in total. So if you've added 1 billion different upgrades to it, even if it's gone up by $10,000, you'd get all of the money that you would originally paid for it paid back. What is the best bang for buck capital ship? Banner Merchantman? 350 at the moment? Probably. People will probably say the Carrick, because the Carrick's $500 at the moment, and it's probably one of the most versatile, useful ships in the game. Did they ever go over what exactly the actual exploration gameplay on foot might be? So if you've already answered that. Not really. We're sort of like assuming that it's a mixture of missions, finding things, saving locations, scanning, all that sort of stuff. What would happen if you're in a ship piloted by someone else, brandishing a weapon, and entering an armistice zone? Do you automatically stow the weapon, lose the weapon? Question mark. No, so in the new system, I believe that you'd have to be caught brandishing a weapon by security, although maybe it can be other players as well. Don't 100% know. And then you personally would be fined. I think only... Obviously, a ship can't brandish a weapon. Do you feel like fixing the no atmosphere issue in ships is a high or low priority? Probably not particularly high, but it's probably not the lowest of priorities. I mean, I don't want no atmosphere in the middle of cities or in ships when they're supposed to have atmospheres. Do you think we'll be able to buy the Carrick in game? If so, when? With 3.8, I would expect it to be in game for purchase. It might be incredibly expensive. Do you feel that fixing... so talked about that... curious about getting the Saber Raven, and I was hoping it'd be available on Aegis Day today. Do you think it will ever be available for purchase? Probably only off other people. You'll be able to buy it off other people in game, and they might sell it in game potentially for reasons. I think the code still works, so you can buy the codes off of eBay or the grey market as well. But be careful if you do that, and make sure you read everything about the grey market and are aware that people might try to scam you or whatever. Best guess to when the Hercules will be flight ready. It's planned currently for 4.0 Q2 2020. Hercules Starlifter. Have you heard anything about the Santok Yai? No, I have not. It wasn't a ship I asked for updates on. I know I'm coming too late to this, but CIG confirmed that any ship that's been bought as part of the Kickstart and subsequent swells will be purchasable for in-game credits, correct? All ships, other than promotional ships, should be available in-game for in-game credits at some point. That is, as far as I am aware, correct. So the ships that I'm talking about that might not be are the Saber Raven and the AMD Omega, which is just a Mustang, Gamma. Did you hear anything about the getting real-time info at system scale, for example, commodity prices at different planets? They have the ability to track all of that. That's all. They have the real-time stats for that. So I hope that will be exposed to us at some point for an API. Will ships going forward have 10-year warranty? Yes, from the intergalactic aerospace sales, I believe. So from the anniversary sales, yes. Do you think the C2 Hercules price will raise by next anniversary? I think, yes. It will be raised when it's probably released in 4.0 in Q2 2020. What do you think of changing a Retaliator with a Taurus with a Retaliator base? Yeah? I don't know. Don't know about that, because we don't have the Taurus in game yet. I quite like the Taurus. I quite like the Retaliator. I know a lot of people don't like either. Are we going to see more melee content, weapons and systems? Yes. So 3.8, proper hand-to-hand combat system, dodging, blocking, stunning, knocking people out. Apparently it's pretty good, and you can take down people and things like that as well. There's going to be melee weapons as well. So. I need a fighter bomber. Would you suggest the Gladiator over a Sabre? For a fighter bomber, yes. But Gladiator is not a bad ship at all. I love the Sabre though, but yes, for a fighter bomber, Gladiator is pretty solid. When will the Mercury Star Runner going to be going to flyable? And what do you think of it? Love the idea of the Mercury Star Runner. I think it's cool sounding ship. I was expecting it before the Crusader Hercules Starlifter, but that does not appear to be the case anymore. So we'll have to wait and see. I would expect it 4.1 potentially next year. Are you interested in getting in-game pets? Yeah, to an extent. Do you think they'll be able to attack people? I don't know. Let's see how far that animal and AI tech goes. What is the difference between the Carrick and the Corsair? In terms of exploration gameplay, I'll never buy a Carrick. It's too much for me. So the Corsair's cheaper, slightly smaller, less facilities. It's Drake. So it's sort of like might have some vulnerabilities. But it's going to be a very effective explorer. But it might run into some problems that the Carrick wouldn't. The Carrick's sort of like just a higher tier, more military, got more frills. Do you have a Polaris? I don't think I do. I don't have a Polaris, no. Is the Polaris system going to be empty? Is the Pyro system going to be empty in 4.0 or full of locations? Whenever it's released, Pyro, it should be having some locations. I would expect it to see its 6 planets, however bloody many moons it's got, and Ruin Station in its initial release. Because those planets, they don't need full-on landing zones or anything on there. They're basically abandoned planets. Some of them might have outposts on. Do you recommend finding an org or finding people in game? Find an org. Find an org. You will have a significantly better gameplay experience if you find an org that's right for you with people you like playing with. Did you see the prison panel at CitizenCon? Yes. I've done a video on it. Are they going to have physical clothes in 3.8? What? They have physical clothes? No. You're talking about the physical clothing drop. I don't think they've got the full clothing cloths in yet. But you can have more clothes in 3.8, yes. When the Macho-Man comes out, do you think we'll be able to hire NPCs as soon as it's out? Depends when the Macho-Man's coming out. Does anyone know what loaner ship you get for the Merchantman? I don't actually know. It was probably used to be the Starfarer. Loaner ship matrix. So you can see the loaner ship matrix, which is reasonably up to date there. And for the the Merchantman, it's the Starfarer and the Defender. Sort of makes sense. Any any word on the Idris might be flyable? People are saying that it's probably when Squadron 42 Episode 1 comes out. They have also said that they wouldn't stop the Idris and Javelin being flyable for Squadron 42 if they could get it in the game. I genuinely believe they could have it in the game next year if they wanted to, but we'll have to wait and see. Do you expect the price of the Merchantman to increase? Yes, I would expect it to increase significantly next year and then when it comes out. There are a lot of broken and bugged ships. That is true. At the moment, do you think any of them will get newer release ships? What? Do you think any of the newer release ships are considered complete? And do you think some of the older ships will get total rework? I don't think we'll see much of a total rework with anything anymore. And maybe the Vandal ships, the Glaive and Blade. Glaive and Scythe. The Blade's pretty new. And obviously the Redeemer. Is it right that the CIG will have the Ares straight to flyable before the Mercury Star Runner? We don't know that. It's a potential that the Ares could be straight to flyable with 3.8. There's also a potential that it's just a concept cell. The Ares leak was clearly staged. But it doesn't mean it's false. It means that it was something they're okay leaking. They sort of have a much better hold on a lot of their stuff now. I think they leak stuff that they want to be leaked. Not all the time, but most of it. What's your opinion on how they do the loaner ships? They get it wrong sometimes. Hey, Board, do you think the small jump drive will work compared... How do you think small jump drives will work compared to large ship jump drives? Also, will we be able to do blind jumps? Unsure whether we'll be able to do blind jumps. They need to work out exactly what they're doing for locational data, plotting courses, all that sort of stuff. Smaller drives should just be slower, as far as I'm aware. Take you longer to get from A to B. Carrick, Endeavour, or Pioneer. If it's the Endeavour with the full master set, potentially the Endeavour, otherwise the Carrick. It depends what you want to do, though. If you want to build outposts, then go for the Pioneer. Any rumours of when the Origin 100 series might be released? I would expect the next year. They're starter ships, though. Yeah. Are you a gimbaled or fixed kind of guy? I'm a fixed weapons kind of guy. Did you hear anything about the Glaive and Scythe rework? So, no, not really. I sort of mentioned them to a Squadron 42 ship dev, and he was like, maybe. I can't say. I was expecting the Scythe and the Glaive to get the same sort of like look as the Blade has. So yeah, some ships are going to receive minor reworks and sort of like additions to them. Obviously, a load of ships need their mechanics sorted out. The Caterpillar needs to have its way of being modular and way of detaching and tractor beams. The Starfarer needs to be able to, scoop up fuel and use its fuel tanks, and then have its little army thing for putting fuel in somewhere else. I'm hoping that CIG do use a lot of the ideas. Good ideas from EVE Online, and there's lots of good stuff there. Is New Babbage in 3.8? So, the exterior for New Babbage is in at 3.8, yes. The interior and landing zone, not for 3.8. You think Planet Tech V4 will be better or worse on performance? We'll have to, well, it should overall eventually be better, but I don't know what it's going to be like when we get it in our hands live for 3.8. Hopefully better. I've got server-side object container streaming working alongside it as well. So, can we buy the Cutlass Black with the anniversary skin after the Drake Expo? You can buy the anniversary skin on the 2nd to 5th of December with the rest of the ships in Showdown ships. So the Cutlass Black, the Reclaimer, the Hammerhead, and the other one. Reclaimer, Hammerhead, Caterpillar, the winner. So with object container streaming in 3.8, are we going to see a large uptick in content in the systems now that servers won't constantly be running everything at once? Potentially. They said it was like night and day. They said they might be able to experiment with high player caps We'll have to wait and see, I suppose, exactly how it affects the game, but everything's being built with server object container streaming in mind now. Oh, Taco Loco. Taco Loco. Tukuluku. Thank you very much for the money. I appreciate your dedication to the game and providing solid content to the community. Thank you very much. I appreciate your money. Oh, you star. Thank you very much. I don't know why people chuck money at me, but you mean I like it. I appreciate it. One day I'll throw it in my face with throw these challenge coins in my face. Thank you very much to the Jump Club by the way, for sending me giving me one of these jump coins. Was hoping for like golden tickets and stuff. This is no free octane drives, eh? Fucking typical, eh? Fucking typical. Bored, any chance of you uploading any videos from the second stage of CitizenCon? No, I wouldn't expect so. CIG, what I'll do is I'll add them to my CitizenCon playlist. CIG should get them up before me because I don't have access to that footage, and CIG do, so they'll get them up first, and then I'll just link to them. So no point in me doing a cut of that unless they're sort of like uncut, raw, and really bad, and I have to upscale them or change the contrast or change the audio or something like that, or they're really poorly cut and they've got like 30 minutes each side of them of just empty hall, in which case I would cut them and put them up. But... So, yeah, so this was the gameplay demo at CitizenCon. Near future gameplay, some of it in 3.8, some of it in 3.9, and some of it next year. Did you manage to pull any extra info about the Star Marine mode? Yes. Yes, I did. It's in my notes. Unfortunately, it would talk to Sean Tracy a little bit. He's very happy for it. He's got lots of plans for it. I talked to him a little bit about Mechwarrior and sort of like mechs and things. He's very excited about that stuff. What kind of role do you think? I'll get that information out at some point. What kind of role do you think the suggested Crusader Ares will play? Don't know 100%, but I think it's going to be the Starfighter, because someone said Starfighter while I was at CitizenCon, and my brain now can't get rid of the word Starfighter. So, long-range escort fighter for Crusader ships would be my expectation. How efficient do you think having multiple human crew members in few ships versus a bigger fleet by NPC crew? I don't know yet. I mean, this is the stuff I don't know until we have it in the game. It's quite hard to work out. I played Theatres of War, the new high-octane game mode, as part of the first group. I literally was in the door with the press, and I ran over to the sign-up counter because I saw people with clipboards. So I went, "Are you signing people up for something?" And they're like, "Yes, we're signing up. I'll sign up." I think it's going to be, as long as I don't put too much time into it, I think it will be useful for balancing the game, and it makes use of Star Citizen, and yeah, I mean, it sort of makes sense. A lot of potential for it as a game mode. It's not a game mode that I wanted for Star Citizen, as long as it's not taking time out of development making it, but much time, or at least it's aiding development, I'm sort of okay with it. I think it'll be quite fun to play once it's polished. It's very rough when I played it, so it was like, well, I'd rather play Battlefield 5 Rush. Well, it's kind of quite fun, and it's Star Citizen, and I can fly around spaceships and go up in space, and I can assault space stations and on the ground, and vehicles, and the sort of like combined arms nature of it sort of works, but needs a load of polish, huge amount. Can you please explain how the Hangar linked to a game package will work? No, because I don't know yet. I believe the last we heard on it was that any hangars that you have, you'll be able to place around on certain locations when you first enter the game. You'll have to have multiple hangars around based on the hangars that you've got in your account. The last thing they said. So that stuff might change or evolve. Do you think we'll be able to buy Carrick in-game in 3.8? Yes, I do. I think it'll be incredibly expensive. Don't think we'll be able to rent one. I think you'll be able to buy one. Why is it taking them so long to get second stage panels posted? They haven't even got the first stage ones posted properly. I don't know why it takes them so long. What they should have done, in my opinion, was have someone dedicated throughout the day getting the panels up as they finished. So as a panel is finishing, they should be cutting and compiling that panel to put up online. It's possible that they are trying to get really high quality 4K super footage and audio, the best possible audio, the best possible footage, put it together, and then put the panel up. Because CIG want to have that stuff. I prefer on the side of getting it up as quickly as possible. It's possible that everyone is shattered, tired, and they've got no one to be able to do that specifically. Because of Thanksgiving and moving into Christmas and New Year and stuff. So I don't know 100% know. I would have liked to have seen them get them out the same day and the day after. I heard that BoredGamer is a shiller who shills for NordVPN and NordPass and Shadow as well, Travis, and my own YouTube channel. Wink, star in eye. Do you know actual VM stats for Star Citizen servers? Can't they just boost VM resource allocation to help with server-side logic container streaming? I do not know. I know they have a lot of potential power that they can use that they haven't been utilizing because they've been trying to be as resource efficient as possible. Do they plan to eventually make Lorville and ArcCorp fully explorable land anywhere like New Babbage? Not fully explorable. So the idea is that on the major landing zones, some of them are going to be restricted areas, restricted parts, destroy you if you go in them, like by shooting you. They're try not gonna have kill boxes, but there might be turrets to shoot at you, or the forces that engage you, or auto pull up and stuff like that, like they have at the moment. But you're going to be able to explore some more of the interior, some more buildings, some more areas to explore. So some more explorable areas, but not everywhere within a landing zone. I mean, ArcCorp, that'd be madness, right? When do you think 3.8 PTU out for all? I would expect that out for the 14th of December. That would be my expectation for a open to wider PTU, one or the other. Around then. Do we know if server meshing is different between regions? So I would expect them to have regional servers to start with, especially with first tier server meshing, for first implementation server meshing. Michael Ake, you have literally made me come back to the game. I'm a 2012 backer. Thanks for this great content. Makes me excited to buy a Kraken. I hope it's flyable soon. That's a big, expensive ship. You madman, Michael. Thank you very much. I appreciate the love. I hope it's flyable soon as well. Like, Kraken is quite an exciting ship because it is a proper carrier. It's just so expensive and a bit mad, isn't it? It's very cool. I mean, I love the idea of the Kraken Privateer as well. Like, I like trading and shops and things like that in game. I like making money in games. Oh, thank you so much for the money, though. Very much appreciated. I have the Vanguard Warden and one Sentinel and one Harbinger Battlefield upgrade kit buck. Should I keep the bucks or get a CCU to the Sentinel and Harbinger? What would board do? So I believe the bucks are the modular changes and equipment to make them or to make it very close representation or facsimile of the other roles. So I'd keep the bucks personally. Do you think the Banning Merchantman will still be around 3,000 cargo on release of the ship? Yeah. Yeah, potentially. I mean, I don't know. But I think it's going to have a butt ton of cargo. Do you know how many ships a hangar will hold? Can you be more specific? For what ship? Or do you think now that server-side order container streaming is coming, we'll see more content in each patch? With the staggered development, the stuff they want to do, content will be more fleshed out for each individual thing, for each individual feature. I'm not sure if we'll necessarily see more content. We'll see the content we see. I know that's a thing to say, but it's true. I don't know how to judge that. Compared to what? Do you ever see a Crusader competitor to Anvil's Carrick being created? No. I mean, you might see modular changes to Genesis Starliner, maybe? Make it into a touring cruise ship. God, I need to get this off my chest. Been backing since 2013, April. Long-time fan. I always tell my friends, all of them, but all dismiss Star Citizen as a big dream waste of money, etc. But this latest patch was so good and 3.8 looks so good, I decided to get them all onto Discord and have them download it for the anniversary. I was made fun of, told no by some, but got a few of them in, and now we have 5 players and 5 more downloaded today. The current patch is strong. Yes, however, I would say that mainstream gamers want something that is persistent, and Star Citizen is far too early in its sort of like development process. I wouldn't try to overly encourage people to jump into Star Citizen. I know that sounds weird, seeing that I have top 4 in the world referrals for Star Citizen, but it's some people just want to polish game. Some people want to sit down and play game. Some people don't want an MMO. Star Citizen is alpha still. It's not fully persistent. The stuff gets wiped. Some people just want to like, what am I supposed to be doing? It doesn't hold your hand at all. Star Citizen doesn't explain any of its like mechanics. You need to be in the right org and right social group to enjoy Star Citizen at the moment for long periods of time. So it's not appropriate for everyone. It will be significantly more appropriate in the future. And over 2020, I suspect it will get even better and better and better and better and more and more and more appropriate. But yes, 3.8 is certainly a strong patch and significantly more playable, and probably will get a lot of people playing. I'm just saying that's certainly not going to be for everyone yet. Like a load of my friends that I play games with regularly, some of which will be actually joining me on my channels at some point. Star Citizen is certainly not ready for them yet. It needs a bit more flesh on its bones. Once it is, I mean, a load of them are old EVE players. So it's going to be, right, let's play this. What feature are you looking forward to the most on the current roadmap? Salvage? Probably salvage. I don't really shill for Star Citizen. Well, I mean, I do in the fact that I'd like Star Citizen to succeed because my YouTube channel's about it, and I sort of like really enjoy Star Citizen, so I want it to succeed. But I mean, I don't get any benefit from it other than that. I suppose I get the most benefit for covering Star Citizen. But like, NordVPN and Shadow pay me for referrals, effectively. So I get, when people click on a link, boop, I get kickback for that. Boop. Star Citizen, I don't. Just YouTube pay me for views. How far away do you think we're from Vulkan and basic VR implementation? Don't know about VR. Vulkan, very close. They've been working on lots of Vulkan stuff. Don't know for Persistent Universe actual in-game, but I would expect it next year for the Persistent Universe. Prison merits earned and being traded and sold to other players. Do you think that can be exploited by trolls and griefers who live in prison? Farming merits to get them out. I mean, maybe, but yes, you can stay in prison and have someone that's a fixer or gets you out because they farm loads of merits and they go, yes, I'll get you out. They can sell that as a service. You could have an org that just deals with BAM, gets them out because there's a guy that's just living in there, farming with the best equipment to get merits and just cycling that. When are all the ship sales throughout the year? Well, we're currently in the main one, which is the anniversary sale. And then they, every 6 to 8 weeks, they have a concept sale for a ship, typically 8 weeks now. And then you see sales typically around each major release of a patch. So 3.8, 3.9, every 3 months. And then they do occasionally do some other little ones. Do you think Star Citizen should do a push for ships to be more of a final state? Yeah, but they need to finish loads of core mechanics first. Like, they're working on everything simultaneously. And they need to get physicalized components in, they need to get scanning in, they need to get the flight model finished, and a huge amount of stuff like that. So I did talk to Dave Colson, actually, about the flight model for a reasonable amount of time, while hugging Jay Lee. Aren't most of the video team US-based? They take a day of vacations, like slowing video production? Yeah, potentially. Why are humans weird and cats normal? Oh my god, I've never even thought about it like that. Cats do make more sense to me. What do you think will be most exciting about Alpha 8.3? I don't know. Being alive then? Living in the future? Do you think there'll be too many people in the game when they switch to one galaxy? No. I mean, space is huge. When do you think we will get the Endeavour? I think it'll be one of the last ships fully done, to be honest. At least a couple of years. How noticeable do you believe SOX will be in the 3.8 implementation? I think it will be obvious, but I'm not sure on how obvious. I mean, everything's built with it in mind now. It allows the scalability of a lot of stuff. It should allow for significantly more server efficiency, and hopefully will allow AI and to be a bit smarter without going AFK, less bugs, less problems, less erratic frame rates, less server chug. Hopefully, more stable servers and things like that as well. It's been described as like being night and day, though. So, I mean, I don't want to overhype it because it might just be like very obvious little improvements, but I'm hoping it's major. Any ideas if they will be doing anything with gimbals, nerfs or adjustments, and sooner or later it will be balanced. Auto gimbals and stuff will be balanced. Will server-side object container streaming improve overall FPS? It should stabilize it a bit. It's not its intended purpose, though. So it might, but that's not its intended purpose. It affects the server. So if you're going into an area, if the server's getting chonky and because it's full of stuff, that would have affected your frame rate. Because the server's going, can't do anything. It will also affect the way it clears stuff up and lots of other things that will affect it. So, do you think we'll get the whole series of ships in 2020? Yes. I do think that. Star Citizen, not yet. BoredGamer 2019. Any chance we'll hear about Squadron 42 before the end of the year? I'm hoping so. I'm awaiting a Star Citizen, Squadron 42. This is the start of our marketing campaign within the next few months. I've scanned and been scanned in game. You're talking about 3.8. I can't talk about the specifics of 3.8. Salvage could be important gameplay loop. Well, they can't talk about the Evocardi 3.8 build. Salvage could be an important gameplay loop. It is, in 100%. Do you believe we'll see the Reclaimer and potentially other new salvage ships ready for when it's released? Yes. Do you enjoy the current flight model? I don't enjoy the very close to the ground currently being able to flip around like a turret. But I think somewhere in between the previous hover mode and the current one is a good idea. So I think all the parts of the flight model are there. They just need a lot of refinement and getting it in the right place. Oh shit, son! It tells me when to get super chats now. J-Boy Max, love your face as well. I love your videos, love your channel, love from California, BoredGamer. Keep doing what you're doing. I will. Thank you very much. Michael Ake. When do you think we'll see? When do you think we'll be able to fly the Merchantman? And yes, I am mad to buy the Kraken. Have the money saved and ready. Yes, you are mad, but this is okay. It's a positive thing. I'm mad too. okay. I think the earliest you'll see the Banner Merchantman game will be the very end of next year. And then it's more likely to be like the Carrick was this year. We planned it for 4.2, but it's not going to be ready until March of next year, or February of next year. You know what I mean? Don't you think CIG should ditch working on anything but core mechanics? No, they're not mutually exclusive. They can work on lots of stuff. A lot of the stuff is considered core mechanics. They're working on Squadron 42. They're working on 2 games. There's a lot to do. Board or chat, I don't see every video about Star Citizen, but saw some CitizenCon stuff. Noticed the character I pledged for was in, but it didn't look like the concept from before. Like they removed the sci-fi engines, the blue circles. They mentioned why they'd done this. Was it temporary? Expect there to be a little changes and tweaks for the character before it goes live. A lot of people seem to be upset that the engines have changed. They make changes like that during concept. But it's not finished yet. It's not going to be finished until February. So they're taking people's annoyance about that on board and general feedback. Hull D or Cat for solo hauling. I mean, the Hull D, if you can protect it, is pretty cool. The Caterpillar might be more suitable for solo hauling. Looking for a larger ship around the Crucible Caterpillar ship to use as a small pirate base. Stick with the Caterpillar or go Crucible and find some small pirate band with the Caterpillar. Probably stick with the Caterpillar, I think, personally. Should be a module that allows you to do some repair. Do you know if we'll be able to use a ship's PA system to talk to invaders? I believe so. I think they talked about security stations, being able to have a PA system, being able to affect a load of the stuff that's on the ship from security stations. What did Coulson say about combat plans going forward? I need to look through my notes. Probably that he's working on it. So I'll read your comment out, N3OC. Here we are, another full year, he said it in capitals, has passed, and yet they continue to abuse, exploit, and outright lie to the fanbase. It does not take 6+ years to make a full ship, whereas the Bandit Merchantman, and instead of fulfilling purchases made years ago, finishing base ships that have been on offer for years, they waste time on stupid bullshit like clothes. Do not support them until they deliver the Bandit Merchantman. I think you're salty about the Bandit Merchantman, maybe the Carrick. They do stuff and really prioritise and change stuff around. They do it all the time. The Banu aren't needed for Squadron 42. Squadron 42 is a focus. And that's the sort of like the current mindset of CIG. It might be annoying. I mean, I've got a load of Banu Merchantmen, so I do agree with you that I want the Banu Merchantman game, but I'm not so angry to put. Oh no! Why is this repeated so many times? That broke. Where are we? I'm not so angry to be able to put stuff in capitals. I lost my place. Endeavour before or after Pioneer? I'd actually probably expect to see the Pioneer Fest. Do you feel more time should have passed? God damn it. Come on. Come on. Have you considered running for Imperator for the 2050 election next year? I mean, if they'll let me, if that's a thing that players can actually run for properly, and it actually happens, vote for BoredGamer 2950. We'll run a little campaign. Fuck it, why not? I've not been scanned in game yet, no, but I want to be. Ah, so I understand. Well, that question wasn't out. Do you feel more time should have been spent by devs on gameplay features rather than ships so far? There was only a team of 25 people working on ships, as far as I was aware. Do I want more of the gameplay features to be completed and Star Citizen to be further along? Yes. Do I think that it's because of ships that it's delayed stuff? No. Lots of people offered me a drink at CitizenCon. I was probably reasonably inebriated. Do you know where the Orion is at? It's a really big mining ship. If it's not needed for Squadron 42, it's going to be a while before it's in game. So like mid-2021 sort of thing. It's the earliest I'd expect to see it. How offended are you by the fact that they've done nothing but fuck around for over 6 years and made 50 ships? Oh, no, I'm not offended at all. You're quite offended. I mean, there's definitely problems that Star Citizen's faced. There's definitely issues, but they're not all about making ships. That is a really bad misconception, and probably one that's not particularly coming from a place of truth. So, yeah, they certainly make ships. Their marketing, they've had some failures with that. Yes, I want Star Citizen to be further along, but slow burn. They overly rework stuff, and they've made some the poor decisions, but they are genuinely starting to deliver, and they have for the last 18 months or so started to deliver on a product. Slowly, admittedly, and with delays and disappointments, but they are showing some cool stuff now. I think that's true and honest, and we can probably agree on that. I don't agree with your, oh my god, 6 years, 8 years, shit, they're only ships, leaving you dry. How can you possibly think otherwise? This is sort of, if talking to you, you'd keep on saying that to me is how I feel. So, it feels over real snow. Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm okay to have a civil conversation about it. Yeah. Arthur, thank you very much. When do you think we'll have the ability to store clothes in a ship? Yes, you rock. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. I have the head of potato, if that's what you mean by rock. It could look like a rock, I suppose, as well. So they want to put that in game reasonably soon. They showed that off ish in the gameplay demo that we can see behind me. I'd expect to see it within the next few months. They wanted to have that sort of storage in this year, but they only got the step towards the physicalized sort of like inventory system, which is what they're working towards at the moment. Physicalized inventories will allow us to put weapons, gear, clothing, armor in our ships. They sort of want to incentivize us to wear clothing when we don't need to wear armor. We shouldn't be wearing armor and flight suits all the time is the idea. Can ships still auto-land? To an extent, you can use the auto-land feature, yeah. And hold the end down when your landing gear's out and you'll auto-land if you're over it. I wouldn't buy a bike or ground vehicle, personally, just because you can buy them in-game and they're pretty damn cheap. Are co-pilots able to do anything yet? So co-pilots can manage load the systems in the ship, but they obviously need a lot more. With object persistence, we'll be seeing a lot more about industry, right? I mean, yeah, but maybe not necessarily because of object persistence. They've been working on the larger economy for ages now. I'll run a proper campaign if there's the ability for me to actually run for Imperator. I would love to do it. Happily not get picked or whatever, but I'd love to have been part of that campaign. Will we have storms in 3.8? I would expect to see some environmental effects in 3.8, but probably not the weather. They want weather in 2020, though. Will they implement the weather system and armor like the video we saw? I believe so. I believe that's the way they want to do it and what they've been working towards. I understand that the Endeavour is far out, but do you think it might have a size increase? Maybe. I mean, it was concept, so it and its modules probably would have had some size increase. Although I'm in a Megacorp, I will play more solo. Which ships are better suited? Hammerhead, Nautilus, Polaris? For solo, none of them. Probably the Nautilus out of all of them for solo. But they're all pretty big. It's getting scanned into the game natural thing. Yeah, so they did it at last year's CitizenCon, I believe. Or the years before that, maybe. And they do have a rig that can get you scanned, but it's not been available for backers for a while. Should you upgrade from a 980 Ti classified? Should you buy a 2080 series NVIDIA GPU now or a 3080 when they come out? So My mate DC, he's buying a 2080 Super because they'll keep their value to a reasonable level, and they're not too expensive. They're like what, $600 in going for, I think, maybe a little bit less than that. They'll hold their value quite well, and then you can upgrade to one of the good spec 3080 cards, like a 3080 Ti, maybe around Cyberpunk's release, and then sell that to 2080. That's what we're doing. That's what he's doing. Is 3.8 open to all subscribers? No. It was on Evacardi. I think it's paused on the Evacardi at the moment. Someone said. I can't talk about the specifics of the Evacardi release beyond if it's running. So I can't take questions on an Evacardi build. What areas of Star Citizen development have the largest dedicated segment of employees? Only 25 people to ships and 4 people to planets. What are the rest of the 500 people doing? I don't know the full breakdowns of everything. I have asked CIG for that. When I go on my next studio tour, I will get to the full numbers. I am going to dash off in a second because I need to work on that questions video. So I've got a huge amount of questions that I collected pre-CitizenCon. I tried to get as many as I could answered while I was at CitizenCon. So I will try and get a video of that on over the weekend if suitable. Do I expect Squadron 42 to be the focus of next CitizenCon? Yes, if not already a focus. You see what I mean? I mean, they want to have some PU stuff. Whatever. Any word on the 3080 Ti pricing yet? No. So it's expected to be cheaper than the 2080s were. That's what I've heard. Don't know that for sure, though. And it's just rumour. What webcam do you use to stream? So I've got a C920 here, which is not what I'm using. I use that for my FOIP in game for Star Citizen, and I've got a Brio, Logitech Brio there. The Brio needs setting up better. What I actually need is a light that hits me here and my face, so that I'm all bright correctly, and then I can set the camera up so it's a lot better. I can actually make use of its 4K nature. I remember Chris talking about orgs being able to own a refinery or factory at some point. Do you think that's possible still? They talked about a small refinery ship in game that they were concepting. So yes, on that. There are going to be refineries in game that you can make use of as stations. I would expect there to be refinery outposts that you can build. So yeah, I would expect orgs to have to effectively own their own. Thank you very much, Mechwarrior. Very much appreciated. Love your face. Thanks for the sub. I've not seen you before. Do you know how many javelins are available for each wave? No, I don't. Between 50 and 200 would be my expectation. I don't know. Probably on the lower end of things. Do you think orgs will be able to build small stations or outposts in non-controlled space? Definitely outposts on planets and moons. There's certainly going to be mobile stations in the forms of like some of the ships, like the Kraken Privateer. I don't know yet whether we're going to have to build and maintain our own space stations. We'll have to wait and see. I think in the far future, definitely. I'll add that to the game at some point. I'm just not sure if it's going to be in the next 5 years. Do you think the Mole and Orion will render other ship purchases pointless? Judging by how lucrative Prospector is already. No. So in the short term, maybe. In the long term, when we've got the dynamic economy, no, because the economy will respond to it. Watch the Tony Zerovic panel, or my summary of it. Why are they using profits from the Persistent Universe on a game that hasn't received backers? Surely Squadron 42 should come from funding from Squadron 42. No, because they need to build the game before they sell it. It's both games. They're hugely related to each other. So the tech they're making for Squadron 42 will eventually be subsumed into the Persistent Universe. Do you think they'll let the Endeavour owners use all of the modules at once, making a super ship? No. So it's only got room for effectively 3 sets of modules. It's got a modular system to fit the modules on. Was it 6? There's a fixed amount of modules you can put on it, and modules are different sizes. Did you see any of the new black and grey t-shirts at CitizenCon? If so, did they look good? IRL. They were the best looking piece of merch that I saw at CitizenCon. They were right. When do you feel we can see Orgs 2.0? It's one of their priorities, getting VoIP, and team and group gameplay in and as refined as possible, and get Orgs participating in the game properly. So next year, 2020, I would expect to see it. I was expecting to see a lot more this year than we did. Simon Morris, Warthog got £50 off on Amazon. Help be my conscience. I feel it calling. I'll have to have a look. How much is it? With £50 off. Hotas. Thrustmaster Hotas set is 95 quid on Black Friday sale, which is pretty cool. With the pedals, it's 170. Pedals are really expensive. Fuck. I can't see the Warthog cheaper anywhere. You can get it for 150 or under, I'd probably grab it. But it's going to be significantly more than that. It's up to you, man. Up to you. Like 200 quid for a combined Hotas and stick for some of the top end ones like that. That would be amazing. I've seen it super cheap before. I think I've seen it for 230 before in a sale. If I forget to put the canvas cover over my Urza Rover on Microtech, am I going to have to scrape the windshield before I can drive? You might have to wait until it's heated. Yeah, before you can see properly. That might be a thing. Will ships ever be lockable with a key fob or keypad or anything like that? I believe so. I believe they're going to have ways you can hack into ships or access ships quickly or that sort of stuff. They've talked about security. They've talked about permission systems. Something like that, maybe. They are adding restricted areas and stuff into the game at some point as well. I found the Warthog too heavy for moving around. Cool with larger ships. Right. I'm going to dash off because I am hungry and I'm tired and I need some painkillers for my throat and it fucking hurts to talk still. That was the worst point of CitizenCon for me, was my throat being shredded by the evening at CitizenCon and hurting so much for the next 2 days. It's still not perfect, so I am going to dash off. Right, I love you guys. I am going to find someone streaming. I'm going to start to be streaming a lot more often during the days and at different times. I'll actually start posting times that I'm going to be streaming regularly on Fridays and Mondays. I think that's some of the best times to stream. But I'll also start streaming some other times as well, and we'll do some gameplay, and there will be gameplay that you can get involved with as well if you wish. Thank you very much. I will have a nice evening. It's very much appreciated. Now, who do we host? Who's online? Right, we are going to host Moist Noodle. Oh, I love him, and he worked very hard as a volunteer at CitizenCon. Bam. So give Moist Noodle some love. Bam, bam, bam. Come on. Yama. Bam. And /raid. Moist. He's playing Star Citizen. And he's a very knowledgeable chap. Thank you very much for watching me today. It's very much appreciated, such as is. And thank you very much, Lisa, for QQ for subbing as well. I didn't notice that. I'm the worst. I love what I do for a living. BoredGamer for Emperor. We'll do some sort of campaign with a potato, maybe on a flag. Something like that. Do love you guys loads. Sorry, I'm just I'm a bit out of sorts today. I'm so tired. There's so much content I want to do. So much CitizenCon stuff. Looking forward to the Kraken Privateer. It should be on show tomorrow. Yeah. But love you guys. You take care. You pre-ordered your Shadow PC. Good. Helping me shill. Bam. You're the best. Very much appreciated. Yes. I love you guys. Thanks so much for watching. You take care. And talk to you soon. Peace. Bam.